So here we are looking at the finished 48 style bobber that I just completed. Started with a 62 panhead motor and tranny, and that was pretty much all I used. Everything else had to be sourced, modified, sent out for chrome, painted, whatever. A whole bunch of things that had to be done. This project was started just at the tail end of COVID, so sourcing the parts was kind of hard. A lot of stuff was just unable to get. A first choice frame, couldn't get. Second choice frame, couldn't get. Along about fourth or fifth, I was able to get something I could do. So then I had to do whatever cutting and welding on there we needed to do to make the parts that we were going to choose fit. Front end, same thing. Could have bought this front end you're looking at with chrome fork spring fork and painted springs. Was not like that in the beginning. Had to take it all apart, send out for chrome, paint the springs, whatever, to get what we really wanted. Just wasn't available. I don't know where all of a sudden everybody decided they want to build something old, but that's what happened. I guess I'm no different. So we got black wheels, hubs, stainless spokes, chrome backing plates, and black drums. It's an all mechanical brake bike. Got them tweaked right in there, perfect, and all the linkage and everything was replaced. Everything was worn out of that red bike that I've showed previous to this. Just everything was either worn out, broken, chrome was peeling on it. It just needed rusty, whatever the case may be. There wasn't a whole lot worth using. The pistons were scored really bad. So everything had to be redone. Motor and training were sent out to be rebuilt. I don't do that. I can certainly tune them and whatnot, but I just haven't gotten into it. It's not what I do. So the rest of the parts we sourced, got everything we needed. It's got I put a Primo belt drive in it with a Rivera Pro clutch. So the clutch works really nice like butter. Yep, we've got a remote oil filter, nice clamshell here that I got from Lowbrow Customs. We run our lines over there, so it's filtered out nicely. Yep. Up front we got a cycle ray headlight. I put a H4 bulb in it, so it's really bright though. That's that there. We got WX tanks on it. These are 2.25 gallons, so they're great for ripping around the backcountry roads for a while, Yep. They're split up the center, they just meet. That's that. Got a little speedometer, odometer, so we can keep track of things. Put that 24 miles on it just yesterday, day before yesterday actually. It was nice out. Did the final road test. Got everything tweaked in. Any leaks taken care of. Yeah. Did a modification on the neck bearings, put in roller bearings as opposed to the ball bearings. That was a lot of controversy on that. What they give you is this little beveled washer that goes under the bearing, and they talk about it floating, and that just did not seem right to me. So we machined a little shim to go in there so the bearing would fit, and then did it up like a more modern shovel head, something from maybe the 70s would have, So we go down here. Like I said, this backing plate is the only thing other than the motor and tranny that was used off the old bike. The chrome was still good on it. I just rebuilt it all, put all the brakes and pivot points and stuff in it. Chrome chain on there. Again, you got the black wheel and hub, stainless steel spokes. The seat was done by Dwayne Ballard, world famous leathersmith out in California. He did this nice gargoyle for me, and it says O Patrão, which is Portuguese for the boss. This bike is definitely the boss, man. Yeah. Down in our battery box, got an anti-gravity battery in there. I created two levels inside, so one I could hide the starter relay, and underneath that, and then the battery sits on top. We got a little terminal block in there, and a couple fuses, inline fuses, protect the system. All the wiring on this bike has been run through the frame for the most part. You'll see it's very, very clean. I mean, first glance, you don't see any wires to speak of, so kind of like that. A lot of the wiring's up under the dash, the coil, up under the tanks. Coils up under there. There's another terminal block in between, horns in there. Breakers for the headlights. All the wiring's pretty much hid inside there. Maybe get a peek in here, I don't know. Yeah, there you can see the coil. Yeah. Nice and neat out here though. Like I said, the wiring's all been hidden. We got a Cycle Electrics generator on there. Integrated regulator, so there's no maintenance to be done there. A lot cleaner setup than the original. Tried to give it all the upgrades. Given all the upgrades, so you know, a lot more maintenance free, a lot more reliable, a lot more ease to drive. You know, you still have to be very conscious. These are older bikes. They don't have power brakes. They don't have really hot disc brakes and stuff on them. You know, they make plenty of power. Still make plenty of power. So you got to plan your stopping and stuff. Very light. It doesn't weigh anything. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to put it on a scale just to see. Got a Model 8 taillight. So stop on there. Yeah. When I got the frame, I had to cut off the toolbox brackets and whatnot, and some brackets I wasn't going to use because we were going to do our own thing. Then I had to do a lot of welding and fabricating on that. Mount the things we want the way we wanted to make them. So they're kind of just floating like the pipes. You know, you don't really see any brackets holding them on, but they're bolted on there really good. They're not going anywhere. And in here we're looking at the WW Cycles out in Germany makes this Cannonball starter, kick drive starter. So you can maintain your kicker. You can still kick it if you want, or you can hit the electrics and she fires right off. Like I said, I hid the starter relay underneath the oil tank, underneath the battery in that oil tank pocket that they have. Yeah. Hid the wires for the tail light. You see them here. They go into the fender. Then I created a channel in this peak. There's a channel underneath in this peak. The wires run down. We fabricated a sleeve here, so the wires come out the front and they're all hidden up in there. So again, you don't see any real wires hanging around anywhere. I have some that are secured underneath the oil tank. Made some little clips to hold the wiring up in there. I used the chrome tubes for the oil tank to get that behind the hot pipe and the chrome tube, so you wouldn't have to worry about it melting the hose. And then down here I used hose because I like it's less conspicuous. Kind of blends in a little better. Got a S&S pump on there. Thing is crazy. Makes great pressure. Our gauge is right there. Easy to read. Got an electronic ignition. No points to mess around with. Stays on key every time. Doesn't change. Running an S&S Super E carb. So we have the accelerator pump. That air cleaner is Milwaukee Iron style. They were the original creators of that, I guess, or reproducers of it, as an old police siren cover. That's back, they were around back in the 80s. They made those big chunky fenders, big iron fenders, very, I don't know, just very thick looking, heavy. They were on the Harley Cruisers, tail draggers for a while. It's a nice little air cleaner. I brushed it, illumined it. Kind of go with the cases. Had glass beaded cases on it, and the heads. Kind of give it that dull look. So everything on this bike has been fit specifically to this bike. Brackets made for everything. Wiring hidden underneath. In that picture of the red bike, you'll see there used to be a stoplight switch mount right here. and the stoplight switch would be there, springs and stuff. And cleaned it all up. I put all that underneath the bike, underneath the transmission, all tucked away nice and neat. Don't see much under here. Nope. Yep. Just try to do something really clean. Dwayne also did the hand grips to match the seat. I put some switches in there. Added a switch for the starter and relocated a couple things. It's internal throttle. It was originally, but it was set up a little differently and didn't work. The cable that ran wouldn't work good with the SNS because it was a hard wire. Wasn't very flexible. Didn't want to bend very good. So, you know, it was more set up for like a lawnmower back in the day would have, with a way to set it up easier. But so I ended up cutting off the end of the bar and putting on my own internal throttle on there so I could run a smoother cable for the carburetor. That was the only change there. So that's it. I will get it down off the lift and kick it over. We'll see it. We'll hear it run.